Hey guys, TheKaijudoChannel here, and I'm back with another top 10 video. So, like I said many other times before, this week is going to be the top 10 light cards. Starting off at number 10 is Petrova, Channeler of Suns. This card is pretty good in decks that use a lot of one race, or maybe a lot of two races, because it's just awesome. I mean, you power up all of one race by 4,000 power. It's not just power attacker, it's just 4,000 power just like that, which is crazy, and it's totally splashable in many decks that use light. And not only that, you can't choose Petrova as a target for anything. You could attack it, it can be blocked, but you can't, destroy it with like a Terror Pit or a card that like chooses that card, which is really cool. So it's really hard to get rid of Petrova when you have all these powerhouses, You could have even blockers of a certain race that just gets boosted and they just can't get through it, and it's really, really crazy. Coming in at number 9 is Cosmic Darts. Pretty much asked for a limitation on the Japanese ban list, so they got sent to 1. And for a good reason. It's a pretty crazy card. But then again, with the English sets, 1 to 12, it's really, it's definitely usable at 4, and it's a lot better at 4, but it's still pretty hard to play. But it's cool. Your opponent chooses a shield, and if you hit a spell, no matter what, you cast it, no matter what cost it is, so it's crazy. But, I know that's kind of random, and that's why you play cards like Malop. So Malop lets you, make it so that you get to choose your shield when they break one of your shields instead of them. So you could put any spell with any cost down in shield with Emerald or something, and then next turn, you get Malop, and then you play Cosmic Darts. You choose your shield, and it has that crazy spell, and then you use it. Number 8 is Alcadius, Lord of Spirits. This is just, what a crazy card, and I'd love to use a deck with this. So maybe in the future I'm going to be making an Alcadius deck, because this card is just crazy. It's only 6, it's only level 6. You have to evolve an Angel Command, which is pretty tough, but I'm pretty sure the cheapest Angel Command in the English sets is a 5-drop, so you could easily play that as your 5th turn play, and then get Alcadius next turn easily. And it totally shuts down your opponent's spells unless they're using light as well, because it stops any spell except for light spells. And it's just crazy. I can't believe it. And it's even a double breaker, and it has 12,500 power. So it is a huge beat stick. It breaks 2 shields, and it pretty much stops your opponent from playing any spells to get rid of this card, because light spells don't tend to destroy things, they just tend to tap them. So this card is just outrageous, it's amazing. But it only comes in at 8 because it only works if you make a deck based around it. So yeah. Number 7 is Magris, Vizier of Magnetism. Now, I know this card gets used a lot in the many decks that you've seen Earth Power and his friends play, but it really, in my opinion, I don't think it's like the best option in the Light Civilization. Of course, if you're running a deck that doesn't use water, you kind of have to run Magris, because draw power is quite essential in many Duel Masters decks to work. But if you want to have draw power, you might as well just use the Water Civilization. Unless, your deck is totally like packed with stuff and you just don't have room for water. But it's pretty hard to not incorporate water in many decks. Of course, Magris is really good. Of course, Magris works well in Merino control that uses Crazed Valkyrie, because it's an initiate target, so that is definitely understandable. So if you use it as bait or you're not using water, it's definitely a good card, but I honestly think that, water's draw power is just so much better that you'd be kind of silly if you're using this card, unless you want to get more draw power for some reason. Coming in at number 6 is Larva Gear the Immaculate. This card is awesome in Firelight Rush, and it's awesome in many other decks too that use Guardians. It's a 3-drop, you put it on a Guardian, so you put it on a Larva Giga or a Soul Gala, and you're ready to go. You tap all your opponent's blockers, and you're ready to swing in for some shields. It's even 5,000 power as well, so it's quite a beat stick for, a 3-drop creature. So this card pretty much makes Firelight Rush like a really good deck. Next up, number 5, Fal'iga Dawn Guardian. Now, this card is pretty dang good. Of course, there are better alternatives in the Japanese game, but with what the English sets have, this is a really, really good card, and it pretty much made a deck around it, Foul Control. You pretty much make a deck that uses a lot of spells, and then you play, 4 of this Fal'iga guy, and you summon him, you get any spell that's in your graveyard, put it back into your hand. So you could recycle those Terror Pits, those Holy Aws, those Mana Nexuses, or whatever spell you really want. I mean, you could just use them, use a lot of spells, you use them, and then late game, you're just summoning all these Faligas and getting them back, and it's crazy. I mean, you just play it, and you get a plus right away. You get any spell you want from your graveyard. So it's a really cool card in that sense. And it's a Guardian, too, so, I mean, Guardians are pretty cool, right? Alright, coming in at number 4 is Colin the Oracle. So this card is pretty good. I mean, it's a shield trigger, first of all. Shield triggers are always awesome, right? And it is a 4-drop, 1,000 power creature that taps any creature on the field the moment it hits the field. So, I mean, if you hit a shield, you play Colin, you tap, and then you have a creature, which is cool. Now, Colin works really well in Y Starnoid decks, first of all, because it is a Lightbringer, and that's part of the condition that you need to get out Y Starnoid, and the other half being Cyberlord, which is one of the best races in the Water Civilization. And it probably will still be in Kaijudo because of, Aqua Seneschal showing that he's a Cyberlord and he does draw power. And I'm sure there's going to be other Cyberlords in the Kaijudo game that do draw power as well. So Colin's just really nice. It's pretty much like a mini Holy Awe in a creature. So it's always nice to get field presence and tap one of their creatures, because then you could easily get more card advantage by killing that tap creature next turn. So it's really cool. Number 3 is Mysterious Sonic Guardian. This card, I mean, first of all, it's at 1 in the Japanese game. But the thing with Mysterious is that, I mean, in many duel videos, I just don't ever see this card being played. But it's ridiculous. It's a draw power machine, this card. I mean, I would run this in, 3 at least in any light deck, really. But I wouldn't run it in Marinomancer, of course, because there's already so much draw power that you don't need it. But in a deck that gets a lot of field presence, and you're running light, you'd be kind of silly not to run this card. It's ridiculous. Every creature summoned, you draw a card. It's free cards. I mean, it is weak. It is only 2,000. So that could be a problem because there are a lot of Phantom Dragon Flames, Burst Shots, Crimson Hammers, and all that could easily get rid of it. But, I mean, if they don't have an answer to it, and even then, like, they don't want to kill Mysterious. It's like, why would you want to kill Mysterious unless you don't want them to draw cards, which, I mean, that's reasonable, but at that point in the game, you're going to have a big creature, and they're going to be like, whoa, what do I do? Am I going to really Terror Pit a Mysterious over, another beefy card like Crazed Valkyrie? I don't know about that. But this card is just crazy. I mean, so much draw power this card gives. I'd love to make a deck using this card. Coming in at number 2 is Crazed Valkyrie the Drastic. Oh my goodness. Like, I really did not know about this card until I watched all those old Pogi Force duels. Sean Caster, if you've seen him in Earth Powers videos, he was the one who made the first Duel Masters videos on YouTube. He had like a good 12 videos of his locals, and the Earth Power and CVH and all those people were there. And Sean Caster was known for his Crazed Valkyrie deck, and oh my goodness, it's crazy. I mean, you evolve it over Initiate, and first of all, Initiate has a lot of good bait. I mean, there's Sarius Vizier Suppression, which is pretty much the best, the easiest, card to evolve over. There's Tajimal, and there's Magris. There's just tons of options in the Initiate race, and I mean, you bring it into play, tap 2 creatures, and then you could swing for 2 shields or kill anything really. It gets over Bomedius, which is a really big threat in the rub control. Sorry, fire, darkness, water control. So this card is really, really, really good. And number 1, of course, it is Holy Awe. Now, I know that this card is not as good as the many variants that exist in the Japanese game, but in the English game, even at a 6-drop instead of a 5-drop, Holy Awe is just crazy. It's game ending. It changes the game so much. I mean, you cast it. Like, you could hard cast it easily, you can get it from your shields, and you tap all their creatures. They hit it, they tap all the creatures, you kill them all. So, it's just ridiculous. Holy Awe. What a crazy card. Now, of course, the Light Civilization has so many other great options, so I'm going to list, a good, 10 or so more that are honorable mentions. I'm going to go through them really quickly right now. So, if you notice in the top 10 list, I didn't mention any blockers, and Light is known for their crazy blockers. So here's 4 blockers which are actually really good. There's Palolesis, which powers all your other creatures. There's Sol Gala, and then there's Jill Worka. It's pretty much a mini Crazed Valkyrie. And then lastly, there's Belix the Explorer, which is kind of like a worse Thrash Crawler. But if you're running Falcon Troll, Belix is actually not that bad. I mean, it's cheaper, first of all, and second of all, you can get a spell from your mana to your hand. So I would definitely run Belix in a Falcon Troll deck to get back spells that are in your mana. Now, there's a couple other cards. There's Rapid Reincarnation, which I like to call the Soul Swap of the Light Civilization. It's actually not that bad, but I mean, it's not as good as Soul Swap, of course, because Soul Swap is just so versatile. There's Nariel the Oracle, which I find pretty cool. I mean, it's at 1 in the Japanese list, and it's a lockdown card, because then any creature with 3,000 or more cannot attack, so that's pretty cool. Then there's the Spell Searchers, there's Logic Cube and Phobos. And lastly, can't forget Glyce Magicula. That card is pretty cool. And it combos really well with a lot of the cards that when they get discarded, you know, they get out into the field, and Glyce Magicula just makes it even easier to play those. And I think the Glyce Magicula deck is a really, really cool deck. So that's it for my top 10 light cards. Please write in the comments what you think about my top 10 or what other cards I missed. I'm sure I missed some because, you know, last time I missed Cryptic Totem. I can't believe I missed that card because Cryptic Totem is a pretty dang good nature card. And I would have put that way up in the top 5 probably. But I completely forgot about that. So if I forgot a light card, just a solo light card that's not a multi-civ, please put it in the comments. I'd like to see if I missed any or if there's any light cards that you guys like. So be sure to like this video. This is TheKaijudoChannel, signing off. See you later.